Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on June 12th, 2022 at approximately 8:27 p.m. PST. Well, I pointed out the other day, quite simply, that when we look at the state the world is in, everybody, we've been taught to fear what is going on. We've been taught to fear everything. And we've been taught the material world is the be all and end all. The more stuff you have, the more successful you are, or the better off you are, this sort of thing. The problem is people have been guided down the wrong road. Okay. Now, picture of you, we've talked about it, like there's a lot of things going on. But the one very obvious thing is society is degrading itself into an absolute chasm. This has been done several times before. But when I pointed out the fact that that each and every one of you is part of the problem, the reality is you are. Okay. However, what I did not finish saying, and this is where we're starting now. Okay, you're also part of the solution. Okay. Now, we can talk about time travel in the whole 9 yards, but there's not much point to it, not just yet. Okay, my memories date back a very long time. Now, I came back to this world at this point in time for one primary purpose, and that is to remind everyone in existence, that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everyone. But in order to do that, you've got to understand what is at stake here. Okay. Now, I'm going to do my best to get us all back on track because I've been looking at this a little off kilter. Okay, when I said everything is connected, I wasn't kidding. The problem that I've been dealing with is trying to separate the home, the heart, the house, the home, and you. You're all connected. So what we're going to do, starting right now, okay, and if you like the video, absolutely give us a thumbs up because we really do appreciate that. And do subscribe to the channel as there's a whole lot of information coming your direction. But starting right here, right now, is where we pull it all together. Everything connects. Okay, to start there, we start with you, with the core of everything. Okay, now you can look at it from any venue you desire. But take it this way, every one of you is identical in one aspect. You all have the power to create a future that is beneficial, that you can enjoy, regardless of how you got to where you are. Okay, but it starts with a very simple issue. Okay, that is a simple belief, and that's this one here. Okay, now I've mentioned this before. I am worth it. That sign, okay, that is the four most powerful words I've come across this lifetime. Where it comes to self-esteem, self-motivation, self-direction, you get the idea. Okay, sounds selfish, but it really isn't. Okay, picture, if you will, a society where people actually work together, where communication is a key factor. Not communication based on what you did wrong, but based on what you did right. Now, on Friday, okay, I ran into a real major snag. Okay, and I'm not going into the details. Suffice it to say, my entire metabolic system went completely off kilter. But I got thinking of a number of things. Okay, first of all, we've got to stop separating ourselves and each other. Okay, we've got to start looking at the reality that regardless of how you got to where you are, regardless of what brought you to this point, right here, right now, this is the only time in existence you're ever going to be able to change anything. It's the only time you're ever able to accomplish anything. Now, get your guidance from who you will. Okay, that's your choice. Okay, the thing I'm asking is for you to start looking at each other as equals. Because no matter what happens, even if you postpone things until down the road, okay, postpone them as long as you desire. Okay, the fact is, when you get around to dealing with them, whether we are talking about dealing with it now or dealing with it down the road, postpone it a month, postpone it 2 months, heck, postpone it a year, it doesn't matter. When you get around to doing it, it is right here, right now. Okay, now it does not matter what color you are or what other things differentiate you. What does matter is whether we draw back and pull the blinders off and realize that fear is not a beneficial way of doing things. Okay, certainly you can look at it and go, well, if I keep people afraid, they'll do what I say. They will. There's no question there. But the problem is, sooner or later, if you have people afraid, somebody will dig up the courage to go, I'm no longer content being afraid. Now, we start with the healing side of things, and that starts right here. Take your hands, put them palms towards each other, and call it whatever you will. I don't care what label you put on it. It really doesn't matter. I like the way William Shakespeare put it. A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Call it what you will. Put your hands just about a quarter inch apart, and you'll feel something between them. I'm absolutely certain of this. Okay. Most people that I've talked to that have tried this will feel something. You may call it body heat. You may call it a biomagnetic field. You may call it an aura. Whatever name you choose to call it. Call it a peanut butter sandwich for all it matters. Okay. What does matter is that energy is the core of what we do. Okay. Now, most of you know how to check your pulse. You put your hand on your wrist to feel your pulse, or you put your hand on your throat to feel it. But here's the kicker to it. If you sit there and concentrate for just a moment without putting your hand anywhere, you can feel your heartbeat. Okay. The key to getting in tune with you is to feel your heartbeat. Okay. Without using any extra senses, just concentrate for a moment. Okay. Once you can feel it, you concentrate on just that beating heart. Okay. And you track it as far as you can. You'll start off small. To start off with, you'll only feel the heartbeat itself. It's going to take some time in all likelihood. Okay. We are not talking about changing things in a real hurry. We are talking about changing things over time. Just hopefully in an accelerated time frame. Okay. Now that side of it is really wonderful. Okay. Because when my whole metabolic system went off kilter, okay, and you can do this, okay, take the time, sit down, and just concentrate on your heartbeat. Turn all the electronics off around you. Now, of course, that's going to be a little problematic if you're watching this video. Okay. So you may have to, might need the computer on for a moment. But it was suggested yesterday, okay, that I think it was yesterday I got the suggestion that I keep these videos a little shorter. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to start with this. Okay, I'm going to see how this works. But you concentrate on that heartbeat. Okay, and track it out as far as you can. Now, in my case, I've been doing this a lot of years. Okay, I can actually feel my pulse at the end of my hair. Yes, it is possible, but it's not technically my pulse. Okay, because what I'm feeling is the shock wave. Okay, but you track your heartbeat out as far as you can. By doing this, you'll find you relax a lot more. When people talk about meditation, they talk about this idea of get into a really uncomfortable position and try and relax. Well, good luck with that. It never worked for me. Of course, I try and get into what they call the lotus position. I'd end up popping my knee out of joint. But find a comfortable position. Sitting right like I am right now. I've got my feet on the floor. I'm just on a standard chair. Okay, and you feel for your heartbeat. Once you can do that, you'll find that things start to make a whole lot of different sense. Okay, give that a practice for a little bit of time. Okay, and just slow your heart. Okay, just slow your breathing. while you're concentrating on your heartbeat. You'll be, no matter what shape you're in to start with. Okay. By concentrating on your heart and focusing on it, you can deliberately, through mind over body, you can slow your heart rate down, and subsequently, you can bring your blood pressure down. Okay, if your blood pressure is high. If it's not, the nice part about it, and we'll get to that point in a video or two, but you start off by simply focusing on your heartbeat. This will help you to relax. Now, like I said, I'm going to do my best to keep these a little shorter. I'm going to play around with the length of time for the moment. But by doing that, okay, you can get yourself centered. And that doesn't mean become self-centered. It means become centered on yourself. By bringing that energy into a balance, you'll find that you get a clearer image of what you desire to accomplish. In my case, it's simple. Bring all of these bits and pieces together in one hand, under one umbrella. That's where we're going from here, is to connect all the dots. I've thrown out a lot of information, and many of you are standing there going, well, how can it all connect? Okay, so we're going to do our best to bring that all into balance. But the reality of it is, there are 3 karmic laws. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Energy out, energy in. And where this starts, you've got only so much energy to work with. Okay. But I do encourage you to check back. This is, well, quite frankly, we're starting with the center point. Then we're going to move on and try and work this out one step at a time. I'm sure it's going to get a little scattered, but what the heck? Okay, so you focus on your heart and just take the time while you're sitting down to feel that heartbeat, to feel the arms. You've got the arms of a chair, to feel the contact that you've got. The more focused you get, the more connection you're going to feel. And there's a whole pile of things that are going to come about. But what I'd like you to do right now at this point is figure out how to relax by simply sitting down in a comfortable position while you're awake and just simply relax. Track your heartbeat and slow things down. And once you've had a little time to practice that, then we're going to talk about the next step. Because what I'm concentrating on, what I'm looking at right now, is how to heal your own world and the world in general by bringing everybody under one roof. Okay, by helping people understand that you're all the same. We're all in this, and it literally is going to require pretty much everyone to bring this into balance. But we're going to get away from the fear of it. We're going to get away from the weird side of it, as it were, and do my best to show you where the different energies connect. Okay, so when I come back, we're going to talk about some of what happens when that occurs, what goes on as you're relaxing, and then you can compare what you felt to what is happening now. Now, with that in mind, I will be back shortly. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.